everybody, my name is Shortline K819 and I am here with my good friend, my best friend,
Hi everyone,
it's
Mr. Shaman
Ryan,
here.
Mr. Chaman
Hello.
himself. Now, uh, I am excited. I should probably Streamcord kind of worked. Okay, I'm testing out a couple of new things on the stream end, so we'll see if they work.
If you want, I can share my screen while I play Trains Newer if you need some visual accompaniment.
Nah,
It's entirely up to you, though.
it's fine, but today we're gonna be reviewing a movie.
But it's the gamer content.
Yeah, gamer content. Hold up. We need to... Should I ping at everyone for this?
Yes, you should.
Okay, let me go ahead and just... Normally I do this before, but I am not doing, like, everyone. Sure, there we go. Let me go ahead and put this in a couple of places. First of all, as I said, normally I do this before, I come online, but fuck it, I don't care.
Welcome all viewers. We would like to welcome everyone to this jingly jangly holiday special.
Yeah, I'll also give some time people to come in because this is the same as I said, it's monumental, it's charming.
Yeah,
Hello, Average, welcome in.
Hopefully you did pass spinach.
Why is it always spinach?
I don't know, Michael. I'm gonna be honest. It's scary. It's a scary language.
Scary language. All right, so it looks like that the stream cord just did not work. Ooh, ah.
Ping pang, walla walla bing bang.
I had that stuck in my head the other night in a voice call with Jack, but okay, so also another thing. Wait, am I echoing somewhere? No, I'm not. Okay.
Very good.
We have the boys. They're here. Take a look.
Hold on.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, my camera, okay, never mind. My webcam froze, so it's just a stationary.
There they are.
A stationary picture of my dogs. Let's see if we can get that to work. Baby boy, yes. Can you tell that I'm kind of stalling right here? I want to talk about the movie, but I also kind of want to have the opportunity for people to get in.
Here, I can tell them some good jokes. What do you call a church that's on fire?
I don't know.
Holy smokes!
Excellent dad joke. Oh my gosh. How charming. Pull up. OBS. Activate. Oh! Is it working? It's working! They're real! Hello! You got the Leo, and you got the bear. This is the most cluttered, stream overlay I've ever done, because as you can see, not only do I have, the dogs, I have I guess the promotional image that I made for this stream. I put Christmas lights around it 'cause it's the holiday season. Ryan, you're behind me.
Oh, fantastic. The right hand of the father.
Yes, there's also, there's also, a couple of new redeems that I made some new sound redeems, and one new redeem that may interest you, Average, if you can check. No way! Red 1? You know what's after the number 1? Number 2. You know what else is number 2? Gemini spacecraft number 2, which was the first to fly multiple times on the OPS 0855 mission as a boilerplate for the Air Force's Manned Orbiting Laboratory program. Didn't the X-15, number 2 vehicle also fly to space multiple times before that? I don't know. Anyways, that's our spaceflight fact of the day. Hello, Spud. Welcome in. As you can see, we got dogs. They're real. They're here. Baby boy. So how are you two doing today? You know what, Ryan? How are you doing today?
Michael, today has been truly a a day that rivals some of my best.
Also, Spud, technically on the ops mission, it didn't. The Gemini B was separated before it went into a final orbit, so it technically, and on Gemini, actually no, both of its missions were both suborbital. And anyways, there we go. Anyways, continue. Average has redeemed cringe sound effect. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Ryan. ADHD kicking in. How has your day been? How has your day before we launch into our discussion of this experience, as we're calling it?
Monstrosity, Michael. It was fantastic. Truly, I got nothing schoolwork done. I kind of helped clean my room just a smidge. I put up an Instagram poll. We have never been so back before.
Let's see. What did I do today? Well, I woke up. I uploaded the VOD. I did a little bit of work on the stream, just adding new emotes, redeems. I wanted to work on some models today, but I didn't get to that. My main thing today is I submitted my internship application for Norfolk Southern to become a market analysis intern, so hopefully that goes well. I guess
Michael, I am praying for your success.
one thing that I was surprised by, I was said, oh yeah, I have to write a cover letter, because it was like they submit a cover letter, and I was talking to my aunt about it, and she was looking it over, and she's like, yeah, a lot of people just don't submit cover letters, they just submit their resume twice, and I'm like, wait a second, what? Why?
Michael, I hate to interrupt, but Steven is currently seeing Red 1.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh. Steven is seeing Red 1 as we speak. Okay, well, the show must go on, because I promised people. Very glad,
Yeah,
Spud is saying, very glad I watched this movie so I can see this review. I'm also glad I didn't go see this movie and saw Interstellar in IMAX instead. I wish I could have... Listen, I could have chosen to see Interstellar in IMAX and, like, actually be entertained. But, I'm out there, so none of you have to digest this corporate product. Also, apparently, like, was this a movie that you could see in IMAX?
What, Red 1?
I swear I saw that you could see Red 1 in IMAX.
Probably. Like, it would not surprise me. Because, I'll be honest, like, this film just reeks of Hollywood. Like,
apparently you can... It's not an IMAX film, but you can see it in IMAX theaters. Some guy, like, after seeing, apparently, The Rock, Red 1 is on IMAX. Thank you, Crimson. Hello, welcome in. So, Googled it, you literally can. Yeah, I Googled this just now. Take a look. This is a Reddit post, but it's, please watch it on IMAX. So I guess we're gonna launch into our discussion. Ryan, I have a question for you.
Yes, Michael, what is your question?
Who is this movie for?
Okay, that is a good question. Because when I arrived at the theater, there was like a parent and her, I think, like 9-year-old, if I had to wager, and like another parent who brought in like a 5-year-old. Like,
okay, but
legitimately baffling.
Here's the thing, though. This movie, oh, by the way, absolute. I should probably put up something which just says, oh yeah, there's going to be spoilers.
In case you ever wanted to watch this thing.
Listen, it's obligatory. It's obligatory. I gotta put spoilers. But there are aspects of this movie that, like, you wouldn't want to show to kids. It doesn't seem like a kid's movie to me because, there's a torture scene. There's, like, bikini women on a beach. There's, like, a joke about, like, a Wonder Woman sex doll, like a running gag. It just doesn't seem like a movie that kids would get a kick out of. And it's just, like, I don't see how adults would get a kick out of it, too. The only conclusion that I've come to is that this movie is for maybe, like, 13-year-old boys, guys. I don't know, maybe.
This movie is probably the movie that like a 12-year-old thinks is smart because he understands some of the jokes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's adult jokes. There's adult jokes in this film, but like it's not like there really aren't much in the way of like actual jokes. Like there's like kind of jokes,
I mean, I'll be honest. Like my total, like it in terms of humor, this movie is. You would imagine that this movie, being the way that it is, would have some funny, but the funny cannot be found.
Okay, I laughed twice during this film. The first is okay, so yeah, the scene where like after Santa's been kidnapped. We should probably go over like what this movie is,
Oh,
but let me just finish
yeah,
this first.
yeah.
So the scene after Santa's been kidnapped and they like very so briefly talk to some trolls. I laughed because the troll CGI was
the internet trolls.
The internet trolls were so like the design was so stupid. And then I also laughed. It was like in the scene where they were fighting on the beach, and I laughed at that not because the movie was funny, because there were no jokes during that scene, but just because of like how is this a movie?
Like, yeah, okay, like I agree. Like, okay, we should probably okay, before we go any further. For those who don't know, Michael, would you like to explain the plot?
Yeah, okay. Yes. Spud, yes, to play devil's advocate, honestly, my take is that kids can handle more in movies than we give them credit for. If it has a penis joke, then it'll fly over their heads or they'll cope. I'll watch Jurassic Park so many times that the DVD wore out when I was about 8. You know what? And that's entirely fair. And we'll get into...
to be fair, though, all right, just a quick rebuttal. I think comparing Jurassic Park to Red 1 is a little bit of a stretch. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay,
but
okay. So,
that's just my opinion.
So Red 1, so this is a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson vehicle film. I wish it was a Chicago and Rock Island and Pacific vehicle film, but unfortunately Hollywood isn't that based. The basic plot of it is that Santa is almost like he's like a rich tech bro, almost CEO, right? Who lifts weights and is played by J.K. Simmons, and it's Christmas, you know, it's getting ready for Christmas time, and then he has his bodyguard, which is The Rock, and basically the plot of it is that The Rock is like, oh yeah, I want to resign after like 500 years, I'm tired of being Santa's bodyguard, I don't see the Christmas magic anymore. And then Santa ends up getting kidnapped, and he's thrust into this adventure with, I guess, Chris Evans, who's supposed to be like this super smart hacker guy who like unknowingly gave the villains of the film like the information they needed to kidnap Santa. And it's like a buddy cop film where him and The Rock continue and they have to get Santa back. And that's the rough plot of the movie. Anything you want to add, Ryan?
Yeah, okay, so the plot of the film, I feel like that is like the overall plot. There was the subplot going on with like the Chris Evans character that he was a bad dad or something. Yeah, the most
generic like afterthought of a subplot ever.
It's pretty. I think it's pretty charitable to call it a subplot.
It's barely a sub. This movie is 2 hours, by the way.
Yeah, it was a long watch. It was a long watch. I mean, I'll give it credit, because I do feel like that this falls on the part where I was not bored while watching it.
Surprisingly, no. I wasn't bored.
Yeah, like I feel like there was, like, in terms of the plot, it's something I think credit where credit is due. The whole idea that Santa is like this vaunted figure, and like the whole the modernization of Christmas, it has been done before. This is a pretty cool take, I'm not gonna lie.
I think this is a pretty terrible take.
That is also fair. I can understand where you're coming from. My personal opinion is that the way that, like, I always like it when a movie, especially when it's centered around like a holiday like Christmas, takes the time to put their own spin on the lore. Like, for example, the North Pole is like in this glass dome, and like it's all like this logistically based operation. Like, I think that kind of world...
There are some aspects of this film that I actually think are okay, and if they were handled by better writers who weren't trying to pump out a corporate product, would actually be kind of interesting. I guess let's start at the very beginning. So I went to the movie theater. So I took my final, I took my biology final. I'm free of biology. And oh my gosh. I gotta be permanently on my laugh selection because I'm gonna be laughing the whole fucking time. So I got tickets. I paid $11 to see this film. I drove to my local theater. Well, okay, I got done with my biology test. I went to Brewster's, got some ice cream, watched Dan's most recent video about like a DC regional metro rail line, which is pretty cool. And then I went and I saw this movie. And I went into the movie theater and I went there at 4:30. Now, my town it's a college town in the middle of kind of nowhere in like the deep south. So I fully expected, okay, there's probably not going to be a lot of people. So I pull up to the AMC and the first thing I notice is there's nobody in this parking lot. This parking lot can have like 100, has like easily over 200 spots, and there were maybe 12 cars in it total. And here's the thing, I haven't been to a movie theater in like 5 years, and I don't remember the last time I went, so this was a completely, like, it's almost like a fresh experience going to movie theater. So I walk in, and I'm like, oh, there are concessions, right? And I wasn't actually gonna spend anything on concessions, because, like, you know, concessions are surprisingly expensive. Like, I'm not gonna do it.
Well, to be fair though, little thing there. Believe it or not, concessions is where a majority of movie theater revenue comes
Yeah,
from.
yeah, I'm well aware of that. You don't make much off the tickets in and of themselves. So I walk into the theater, and it told me you should probably, my ticket said you should get there at 4:30, right? So I get there, being the paranoid person that I am when it comes to time. I got there 10 minutes early, expecting the movie just to start at 4:30 on the dot, and I realized, oh wait, yeah, this isn't how movies work. You get like 10 minutes, 15 minutes worth of trailers for other movies first before you actually get to the final film. So I was sitting in the theater. It was a fairly small theater, maybe about a like 50 seats total in there, maybe 75 or so. And I was the only one in there. Now, a couple did eventually walk in, but other than them and me, I was the only person. We were the only people in the theater. And I sat there waiting for the movie to begin. The only thing I could think of is, gosh, just let the movie begin. I did see a Coca-Cola ad before the movie where the plot of the
With an
Coca-Cola...
AMC with the AME-7.
Yeah, the guy walks into Grand Central and then it cuts to a picture of a Phase 5 AEM7, and I'm like, that's not right. Yeah, when we went...
To my understanding, they actually filmed that on the IRM.
Interesting, neat. Yeah, when we went to see Interstellar, I ate a Taco Bell beforehand. We got drinks and popcorn and candy, but not a whole ass meal. Yeah. And then the movie began. And Ryan, what was your movie theater experience? Like, just the first part of it, when you drove to the theater and maybe you took the bus or whatever, and you just...
So, on the urging of my mom, I took a new friend named Phoebe. And we were talking up this movie on the whole way here because we'd heard conflicting things about what this flick was. But because we were doing this review, I knew that we were going to be in for quite a time nonetheless. So we arrive.
Ryan, sorry for a moment. Steven says this film is AI generated.
Update, this film has to be AI generated.
Honestly, yeah.
That's fair.
Continue. Sorry.
But basically, I go to college in upstate New York, and it's fine. Like, parking was a bit of a hassle. We get our concessions.
Ow.
We sit. There is, again, less small child there, and a couple. So there were about 8 people total in this theater. The ads were fine, I guess. The actual movie theater experience was fine, but I'm gonna be honest with you. This film, this experience, it boggles my... Like, I have to hand it to them. It's something original. But at the same time, how did this get greenlit?
Okay, so my theory is that this is... so the budget for this film is $250 million. 50 million of that is just for The Rock himself, and $250 million is higher than each Dune movie the budget of each Dune movie, which those are like masterpieces of science fiction, and this cost more than that. Oh, Average, you found the redeem. You requested this, so it's here now.
Hold on. Let me give this a.
Uh,
This was apparently 2.5 more times expensive as Cats, by the way.
yeah, okay, but
Uh,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Accounting for so that's just the posted budget of the movie. Accounting for distribution and marketing, typically what you do is you double the posted budget of any film to figure out to account for distribution and marketing. So it's entirely feasible that this movie cost $500 million to make. Which, I read that number and I'm like, man. Hey Spud, how many Falcon 9 launches is $500 million? Like, what, like, that's over a dozen or something? I don't know. But I look at that budget and I'm like, there is no way in hell that this wasn't like a Mel Brooks producers style scam, or they knew that this movie wasn't going to make 500 million or even 250 million dollars, and it just exists as a corporate tax write-off for a studio, and also to give like The Rock and Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons and Lucy Liu like a bunch of money. So
this is.
it's a 5-minute timer average, so
It's I mean, it's hard to describe this movie.
yeah,
It really is.
I think the way we should probably describe it is just by going through the plot of the film,
Yep.
and that's what I was starting to do.
It-
Okay,
yeah.
so the movie begins, and we get like a cold open on like what comes first? Chris Evans? Like
Yeah,
he's a
it's
kid
baby. It's the child character of Chris Evans.
who looks nothing like
who-
Chris Evans.
Yeah, well, and glow ups can't
He
happen.
looks like Rowley from A Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
All right, yeah. So we've got Rowley Chris Evans, who is who basically, to my understanding, from what we can understand, is like at a Christmas party function, and all the other kids like believe in Santa, but he's cynical and lost all of his dopamine already somehow. And so he like takes these kids up to like a storage closet where all the presents are stored, and like he has them pay him candy or whatever. And some like the dad or uncle figure is like,
It's the uncle.
Santa is real, don't you know? And it's a weird opening.
Yeah, and
It
then
is
they
a
cut,
weird-
and then they cut to him like as an adult, like going into this government agency and just not giving a fuck and like stealing things, literally stealing candy from
Stealing
babies.
candy from a baby, yeah. Yeah, God.
My
that was
new metric for so Spud, this is either, if you count the posted budget of $250 million, that is what? You could pay for 2 Nova Sea landers with the budget of Red 1 if the more realistic budget of 500 million is there. That's more like 4 Nova Sea moon landers. Kara Carousel, VT, thank you for following. Welcome in. How are you doing today? So yeah, and then it cuts to him, yes, as an adult, stealing candy from babies, and then the credits roll.
well, and then we get another jarring thing.
Yeah.
Where you've got the real Santa. Okay, first of all, we've got possibly the most, like, I'm not gonna say unrealistic because I've never really been at a mall like in the lead up. Well, I have, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
you haven't like been near mall Santas.
Yeah, like I haven't. But the way that they portray the humans here are almost like it's almost comedically overdone.
Yeah, and that
Like-
entire first part of the scene was so jarring because the scene comes in, it's like, oh yeah, it's a mall during Christmas time. You see that they're having a mall Santa event. There's JK.
But it's the real Santa,
Yeah.
right?
Take it
weird.
based on your name. You like Monopoly. Short line is a term for any like small railroad company. I chose it in 4th grade because I never thought I would get big content, and I like trains, so that's why. But so yeah, you come in on this mall Santa scene, and there's it zooms in, and there's this mall Santa and or there's the actually it's the J.K. Simmons, it's the real Santa Claus, but I thought it was a mall, like a disgruntled mall Santa for a moment, because
Well, he looks. He doesn't.
J.K. Simmons doesn't act, neither does The Rock, but he doesn't act in this film. There's nothing like jolly about him. He's not jolly looking. He's not like hyping up his job at Santa. It's like a disgruntled fake mall Santa, and that's what I thought he was. And that The Rock was just, this bodyguard hired by the mall. And the first part of the movie would be like The Rock going, from this bodyguarding this disgruntled mall Santa to finding the real Santa. Now, I probably shouldn't have expected that because, J.K. Simmons is on the poster of the movie as Santa, but that's what it feels like. It feels like this is a fake Santa. It's not real.
Yeah, like he's like too military-esque. Like there's like the colors are all okay. Actually, I will give you this. The way they represent the North Pole, and like the way that they do all of like the Christmas people, like it's also muted. Like Christmas is the time where it's bombastic red and green.
Yeah,
like,
so
what's the deal?
not only is J.K. Simmons not jolly, like he's like a terrible Santa, right? It's everything in this film is kind of weird and muted. And okay, so it goes from the real Santa who is at this mall. He's like, okay, I need to go back to the North Pole because tomorrow is Christmas. So they go and like the U.S. government escorts him to some military base.
Yeah, that's right.
And then there's
like the U.S. military North Pole complex.
Yeah, like there's this big sleigh. Like he has this big sleigh and he has all of his reindeer and whatnot. Hello, Berkshire, welcome in. And then like the fighter jets escort him. So he's like, which I mean, I actually think is somewhat interesting because, if Santa were real, world governments would probably, especially the US, would probably, we can't, make sure that the I don't know, ISIS accidentally shoots, Santa Claus down or whatever. So if Santa was real, probably something like that. I don't know. And then they get to the North Pole. And the North Pole is weird and muted. And it's when they get to the North Pole, one of the smaller cool aspects about this movie is I like the idea of the North Pole being in like a giant invisible dome.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, but the actual North Pole city itself, no one's in it, and it looks like, my first thought upon seeing is this looks like a city that you would see in like a cyberpunk dystopia, because it has that big tower in the middle, it's all dark, it's all like neon Christmas lights and whatnot. It looks like a cyberpunk city.
Yeah, I thought I was in Tron for a second, to be honest.
I mean, to be fair, none of the kids never actually meet the real Santa in popular lore. He doesn't come to you unless you go to sleep. Nobody really sees him. The mall Santas are probably just a PR thing. The real one has to deliver 3 billion presents in one night. Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing. The way they play it, like, because the way they depict the mall like it's,
First of all, no one has ever in the modern day has ever been in. Malls aren't that busy anymore. There should be 2 people in there.
Well, that, and also like the way they depict like the casting for these children are so weird. Like there's a fucking like 13-year-old crying about not getting something they want, which feels a little immature. Like they're pushing and shoving. Like I don't get it. Like people are a little bit more civilized than that, right? It almost feels
you get an influencer to like come up and try and like.
That's so like that would fucking like no, like any normal mall staff would have stopped that man in his tracks.
I mean, the Rock kind of does.
Yeah, but like Paul Blart Mall Cop would have been posted before the little meet and greet area to ensure that the fucking where's the beef guy doesn't come up and harass him. By the way, that character, I wanted him to get impaled by one of them snowmen.
Oh boy.
I hated that character. Like
he's in the movie for like a minute.
Yes, but Michael, he's okay. Here's the thing, right? I feel like, to Steven's point, this movie's AI generated. I feel like this movie celebrates all of the wrong reasons Like all of like this is like the constant joke about late stage capitalism and all that.
I saw a comment saying, like, I was watching. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this is I saw a woman carrying man's review of this film, and I scrolled down in the comments and I saw someone, and I know this is sort of violating my no politics rule, but hey, it's my stream. I can just this once, and it's barely a violation, which is I saw someone describe this movie as fascist propaganda, and I'm like, sure, buddy. But that got the little gears going in my head, which is like, is this movie really that terrible?
Well, it
Uh,
definitely the issue, not the issue, but like what the issue with it is that, well, not the issue, like it just the whole influencer thing,
yeah,
people
let's.
shelling and yelling, like it felt part of the reason why Christmas movies have the appeal that they do, and why a lot of them are so highly regarded like they do. Like, I don't know, even if I don't particularly think it's a good movie, The Polar Express, uh, what is it? The Nightmare Before Christmas, if you're one of those. The Bankin' and Rass Christmas films, is that they take you to a time that is a lot less cynical. It is a
Yeah,
lot
this
less,
even
right?
even like cynical Christmas. Like my favorite Christmas special is Charlie Brown Christmas by far, and that is very cynical in a lot of ways because Charlie Brown is straight right, is like undergoing like seasonal depressive disorder, and
Yeah,
that's
man, it
that's
is.
like the first part of that's quite cynical, but in the end it's still like it still manages to get you that warm feeling. It's like this movie isn't like overtly trying to be cynical, it's inadvertently trying to be cynical by being so just corporate.
Yeah, like again, the influencer scene, God, like it just that there was
So
also,
Santa gets to the north, yeah, so like Santa, he gets to the North Pole, right?
yeah,
And
he gets to the North Pole, like from what then there's, oh, there's a backup and ribboning and candy canes and
yeah, and
fucking there's
they
logistical problems.
I like the concept of logistical problems with Santa Claus, partially because I'm a logistics major. Like I
Yeah,
think that's also sort
it's
of
a
an
cool
interesting
idea.
thing. Yeah, it's a cool idea where it's like, oh yeah, we gotta make sure we're on time, stuff like that. But like a lot of the dialogue about how Christmas is in this movie is just so corporate. Like they mention the naughty and the nice list and they talk about it in terms of like profit and
22%.
loss.
Yeah, 20. The naughty list keeps increasing like 22% fold
Yeah, and
every
this
year.
this
Like,
is during the scene where Santa's like working out like with The Rock, and The Rock is explaining that he wants to
that's
resign
yeah,
from being
yeah,
Santa's
but
bodyguard because people are on the naughty list. Like more people are on the naughty list now.
yeah, that's another weird aspect, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
you were so right that like I didn't really pick up on this because I always thought it was more wrapped up in like not necessarily like business culture. I always thought it was more wrapped up in like, oh, this is just another take on the North Pole. But now that you mention it, yeah, they kind of portray it like it's a business, and it's kind of it's a little jarring,
It's not like an
right?
overt business, but
Yeah,
it's yeah, it is sort of like that. So yeah,
it
Santa and The Rock are at the North Pole. The Rock is like, he's like, "Oh, I want to resign. It's, it's my last day." And then I guess you have the aspect with Chris Evans who's doing a really weird Brooklyn accent, which is also kind of jarring. And his thing
that's
is
right.
he's like a super smart hacker guy. They call him the Wolf. And which, and he's like super
That is
smart, but
possibly
he's
the
also
worst name. That is okay. Can we just back up? So you're meaning to tell me you've got all of the writers in Hollywood, and you could not come up for a better alias for someone who is supposedly able to hack the U.S. government and is recruited and try to be recruited by the FBI than the Wolf? Like
okay,
you could.
Chris Evans's character is it's very poorly written because it's like you're supposed to believe that he's like this super hacker who's like amazing and no one can stop him and whatnot, but at the same time, his other plot arc, I guess if you want to call it that, is he's a deadbeat dad where he just doesn't care. And when he talks to his son, like there's an opening scene where he's taking his son back from like school, and it's like, oh yeah, because he's acting out because his dad isn't doing anything with him, and like the kind of character that he's being portrayed as, it's kind of hard to believe that he's like this super motivated, super skilled technical hacker. Like because he's just so lazy. It's almost like the character is like you're two completely different types of characters combined into one. You don't really buy it. And
what is it? Sorry, continue.
so yeah, and then the Grinch is probably one of the best ones with an actual message. The Grinch hates Christmas about everything about Christmas because he's alone and has none of it. So he steals all the material trappings of the holiday to ruin it. Then Whoville starts to sing, and he sees it's about community and family, and his heart grows with three sizes. Yeah, simple like that.
Yeah, the fact is that, and even in like the 2019 or the Illumination revamp of the Grinch, they didn't stray too far from that. But like it just the issue with the commercial, like the issue, like when you start bringing in business and like a lot of real world adult topics into the world of like the North Pole and the inherent whimsy of the folklore that Christmas has, it starts getting into this really uncomfortable gray zone.
Charlie
right?
Brown tried to warn us.
To be fair, the reason, even if Charlie Brown is very cynical, I think the reason why those specials work is, again, they try and be timeless. They're not, because this movie, Red One, is dated to 2024. Charlie Brown is not. Fucking The Grinch is not dated. Hell, I would even make the case that Elf is not dated.
No.
And that movie...
You mean ELF, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They don't say elf.
Extremely large and for...
They say ELF.
Yeah, extremely... Can we also talk about, like...
Elf is... I do agree that Elf... Despite Elf, like, you look at it, and it's like... Yeah, you can tell that it's like, oh yeah, this is like late 90s New York. But at the same time, the story isn't dated, right? It's just it's just kind of the scenery. It's
yeah,
not
and like it's not jarring. It's
No.
not like cringe.
No, it's not like cringe dated. And okay, so I guess we'll continue. My brother in Christ, do you think any of the 72-year-old executives who created this thing know what a computer is? No. Oh yeah, so okay. So yeah, Santa, I guess we can continue with the story. Santa gets kidnapped, right?
Oh,
it's like this big thing, and there's this big CGI chase through the North Pole.
It's not very convincingly animated, by the way.
No,
like, it is.
It reminds me of the Polar Express when they're in the observation car and they're like going through the whole like North Pole area and no one's around.
To be fair, that is an insult to the Polar Express
because,
like again, this movie, like when you look at this North Pole, like. No fucking, like, is climate change happening in this universe too? Like, this place looks so dull.
It looks like, you know what it looks like, Ryan? The North Pole route we made for the last 311 Christmas special. That's what it looks like.
No, we can release it as a Red One exclusive. Michael, you're a genius.
Send over the link, I'll put it in chat.
Fuck it, I'll put it onto Jack's site.
Absolutely.
But like it.
Yes.
And so, the issue is that it's not really. I mean, okay. I will say the one thing that I found really cool about it, though, like if I have to give it one thing, and I'm a sucker for this, is again they established lore. Like they established that there was Santa's original workshop, and they have that preserved. I think that's cute.
Okay, but like here's the thing, The Rock. Excuse me. I'm getting fucking sick from talking about this film. I'm leaving that in for the funny. I don't care. I would have muted myself normally, but fuck it. It's our Red One review. Here's the thing about that. Yeah, they have the lore, but like, when they look at the Santa workshop, right? You would expect, like in another film, in a more like sentimental, like Christmassy film, you'd take a look at that and you'd be like, the characters would be like, oh, that's where we came from, and then they'll look at like this giant like big tower and like this quasi dystopian city and be like, where did we go wrong? But no, The Rock smiles and he's like, oh yeah, oh, it's nice. And then Santa gets kidnapped and he flings into action in a CGI
and
mess.
Then the plot happens. Yeah.
And then the plot happens.
Well, okay, to be fair though. Well, okay, I will give it this. Despite the fact the film is 2 hours, again, I never felt bored watching it. And I think that is a credit to its pacing. Like it did not feel like it meandered. Like I feel
No, in this
like a
film,
Christmas film that meanders is Polar Express. This is not that.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, there's no yeah, it doesn't. The pacing is fine, honestly. Um, the pacing is fine. It's why yet again? Why does it need to be 2 hours? But yeah,
That is true.
Santa gets kidnapped. Do you want to say something, Ryan?
Well, actually, on the point about the pacing, the one thing that I thought was a little unnecessary was them having to go to like Santa's brother. Like I felt
Okay,
like that.
okay. Here's my take. The Krampus stuff is actually the best part of the film. Because, okay, throughout the movie, the acting in this movie is pretty terrible. I say that for a few reasons. Number one, the acting in this movie is pretty terrible. The Rock doesn't act. J.K. Simmons, who is Santa, is barely in the movie. He doesn't act. He just says
He's
lines
asleep.
like a middle
He's
school
asleep.
play.
To be fair, he's more asleep in the movie than he is awake when you think about it.
Even when he is awake, he's asleep. And, like, the only time where you could actually, like, there was actually, like, any energy behind the screen was, I think, during that Krampus scene. When they went to, because, okay, so the lore of this movie is that, and I actually quite like this aspect of the lore, surprisingly. Krampus, he's Santa's adopted brother, the big demon dude, and Santa, he gives out gifts, he's rewarding people. Krampus, naturally, as per, the mythology around Krampus, is punishing people, right? And they originally had this agreement. And eventually, they got into a big fight over the naughty list, and Krampus and Santa had a falling out. And eventually, Krampus, it's sort of established in the lore that Krampus went off and did his own punishment thing for a while. He dated the villain of the movie, which is the Christmas witch, who was kidnapping Santa.
To be fair, even then, like the villain probably has, like I don't know, barely any screen time.
Yeah, and then even Krampus got tired of that even, so he's just in his castle with his boys, like partying, drinking, slapping each other, right? And I actually find that actually kind of interesting, right? I feel like if you wanted to do a big twist on the Christmas lore, you take Krampus from this movie and you give him his own movie where he's like, oh yeah, it starts out where him and Santa are together and they have the falling out, and then he does his own like punishment thing, and he gets involved with his girlfriend. It could almost be like a drama, almost and then eventually he gets tired of that and he locks himself away in his castle and just parties all day. And then no. And then sorry about that. And then, the problem is, like, even though he's still partying, he's still like inside, he's still like languishing, right? Because he lost his purpose. He's no longer on speaking
So it's
terms
more like
with
a
his
character
brother.
study.
Yeah, it's like
So
a
it's more
character study. Like he's just partying and drinking to like cover up the inner trauma, it doesn't really bring him any joy. And then something happens, like Santa gets kidnapped or something, and eventually he's like, nah, I don't want to do it. But over time, he's like, okay, I actually need to go and like save my brother and save Christmas and whatnot and find my purpose again. Like taking the lore of Krampus in this movie and like doing a character study of just him, I think would be, with a good writer, would be kind of an interesting like take on Christmas.
I entirely agree. It's just I feel like in terms of the plot of this movie and the length, like it just felt like, I mean, it was cool for the brothers to reunite. Personally, I just felt like it was, in terms of tone as well, it just felt a little out there. But I do agree. I do think that your like idea where it's more, instead of like a action movie, it's something a little bit more helpful. I think that actually has a lot of merit.
The Krampus scene where they go to his castle, right? Okay, so I guess to catch you up on when they go, we'll catch you up on the plot in a moment, because we are kind of meandering, like the film, and not so much like the film, kind of like Polar Express. But the like that scene, like all the Krampus stuff when they're in the castle, all of that, I don't think much of that was actually practical effects. A lot of that wasn't CGI, and it was a weird relief in a movie that is mostly just CG.
Really, that was a lot of
a lot of the characters in
puppetry.
that was practical effects.
Oh, sick. All
I
right, you know
know.
what? That is a
Which
point
is
for.
weird because the rest of the movie is mostly just CGI. It feels weird and out of place. Bud says my medium lukewarm take is the Illumination Grinch was fine. In 20 years it'll be seen the exact way as the Jim Carrey one. Yeah, probably.
The thing about, little side thing. The good news about the Grinch, like the modern interpretation of the Grinch, like the story's pretty timeless. Like
You
the
can't
plot,
really
like,
fuck it up.
yeah, you can't fuck it up. Meanwhile, if we're looking at something like Red One, where it is very inherent, like you can't picking out a message. Like it's easy to pick out a message out of the Grinch. Picking out a message here and trying to keep it relevant over time,
Yeah.
that's where things get a little hard.
You know what you should do? Find movies like this from back in the day where when film bros say everything was better, and review those. Not a gosh damn person on this planet will remember this movie in 5 years. There has to be movies like this that no one remembers now. What was the Red One of 1983? That's an excellent question.
Let me let's take a look.
Okay,
But
so yeah, to catch you up on the plot, where were we? So yeah, Santa gets kidnapped, and Chris Evans is like a terrible dad, right? So I guess the FBI headed by whoever Lucy Liu is playing. I forget. I don't remember any of the character names in this movie. Um,
uh, Zoe, I think, I don't know.
Zoe.
There was she's a head of like basically the FBI for magical creatures or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
they go ahead and they kidnap. Jack is the character's name, but like Chris Evans, right? And they're like, we need you to you have information. You were the person who gave the Christmas witch the information to like be able to kidnap Santa. And he's naturally like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And honestly, he actually doesn't, because all the stuff is encrypted. He just takes whoever's the highest bidder. And this is the literal torture scene. So there is The Rock and his assistant, who is a sentient polar bear named Garcia.
okay, can we just pause for a moment here? The promotional material would make you think that he plays a much bigger part in the story than he actually does.
Yeah, he's barely in the. His biggest scene is this torture scene. I'm gonna head out. Take care. Thank you so much, Spud. I will talk to you later. Um, Also, you have very good takes on Christmas movies, so I will say. Um, yeah. So there's this big goofy polar bear, and The Rock and Garcia don't buy that Chris Evans doesn't have the information on how to like where Santa went. So they like borderline torture him by literally strangling the information out of him. And
Okay,
eventually,
it was a bear hug.
yeah, it was a
They
bear
literally bear
hug.
hugged him.
Not of course, it's a bear, but it's not of course the bear right there.
Yeah, it's not the best bear.
Not the
It's like
best bear, who is currently
it's
sleeping. They're both sleeping, but
there's. I mean, that's like you would think for being oh so jolly and spreading good cheer, it would not be very cash money of them to almost fucking send someone's eyes out of their sockets, but
there is a murder in this movie later on.
Oh, that's right, there is.
So yeah, and eventually Lucy Liu is like, hey, The Rock, Chris Evans, you need to team up to go find who kidnapped Santa. And initially it's the classic buddy cop, The Rock doesn't trust Chris Evans. Which honestly, why would you? He's kind of portrayed as a total loser in this movie. And throughout this, Chris Evans is doing the classic modern Hollywood thing where he sees like a fantastical thing, and he's like, did I just see that? Is that real? Whoa, what is ELF? Santa's real? Whoa, all that kind of like insincere stuff. And I'm like, damn, listen, I have read enough. I have seen enough like fantasy and fantastical stuff to say, okay, if I was isekai'd to a fantasy world, I would probably accept it fairly quickly, because it's like, okay, that's just how this world works. Yeah, of course there's gonna be like dragons and shit. I wouldn't feel the need to point out the fact that, oh, there's a dragon every 5 seconds. Like, oh my gosh, there's this mild fantastical thing going on. I wouldn't like overreact at the top of my lungs. It's like, it's just annoying, and it's insincere. Uh, so that just happened. Yeah. Any thoughts, Ryan?
His character, I mean, I'll be honest, I thought it was kind of the bonding with him and The Rock, honestly, I thought that was pretty well executed for
It
what
was
it was.
fine. Nothing special, but yeah. And then
I mean, what wouldn't there are some real genuinely cool aspects about this film in terms of the world building, like the fact that you can, like, the fact that there's the Toy Store network. Did you notice the cameo of the Lionel HO scale?
Yes, I did. I've sold those sets before.
So I think now we have, either one of us
Oh.
has to find one of these sets, because now it's the red one set.
It's the red one set up. I will be right back. Ryan, please entertain the audience.
Okay, there are 5 people here. Okay, you hear the one about what is it? All right, tune in. Who is here? You hear the one about no, hold on. Santa Claus had a bad cold, and then he went to the doctor, and the doctor says, I should have given you a good cold. That doctor was Snow Miser. Snow Miser was found dead. Who is still here? I'm looking at Michael's Be Right Back screen right now. Oh my god, art by Jackie. Hell yeah. He's back. He is back, I think. I don't know. I heard some whispering. So, there's 5 people here. Come on, somebody say something. I'm watching the chat. All right. There was a meteor shower last week. Because I don't hear like meteors.
Hello.
Welcome back, Michael.
Hello, I am back. Where the fuck were we? Oh yeah, so they have to go find Santa, and the initial, I guess, encounter, so to speak, is okay. So there's some aspects. So in this film, there is The Rock has a couple of fancy tech gadgets. One of those being, like toy stores act as like portals between places, which is kind of neat. And then there's also this thing where like he can, basically take a toy and make it. So
I think that's pretty cool. Like, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, there's a constant joke. There's a joke where Chris Evans is constantly asking for like a Wonder Woman doll, so like The Rock can make it real, and like Chris Evans sex doll Wonder Woman, which is kind of weird. Bear, what does Bear want?
It's a bit a little funky, as we say in the biz.
Yeah, and then they fight these people on this beach, and that's when they like fight these snowmen that are sent by the Christmas witch. Who's okay? Hold up, Bear wants to get up. Let me go ahead and get Bear up on the bed. Let's get him up on the bed. Come on, he can't do this by himself. It's a cat. He's big boned.
Yeah, I was going to say, use the proper terminology, Michael.
He's a large chunk, as you can see. Actually, he's like not that overweight. That's just his breed. Here's Bear. There he is. Oh, look at him. He's so cute.
There he goes.
So yeah, they fight these the first minions of the Christmas witch on this beach, which are like these snowmen. It's an action scene. It's fine. And they figure out who in the Christmas. I guess we should discuss the Christmas witch's like her plan.
Her plan is to encapsulate everyone in snow globes and then profit. I don't know.
Yeah, her plan is that she's like, Santa hasn't used his power, right? We're gonna cleanse the world of all of the people who have ever been on the naughty list, which is basically everybody in the world, because who hasn't done shitty things in their life? Everyone has. It doesn't mean people are bad, of course, but it's just human nature that we will inevitably do something bad. So yeah, her plan is to use Santa's power to manufacture a bunch of snow globes that she will then send out to everybody in the world, and then they'll all be captured um, in these snow globes, and all the naughty people, everyone in the world, is all the naughty people, and the world will only be filled with perfectly pure, nice people, and that's her goal. So that's why she kidnapped
Which is,
Santa.
it'll be a pretty dull world because there'll be no one there.
Yeah, everyone will be in a snow globe. Clownotic rating with a party of 7.
Endeavor Houston.
Oh.
Negative
Oh.
return.
Copy, negative return. Hey, Clownotic, welcome in. We are reviewing a terrible, terrible movie. Holy cow, yeah, exactly. Me and my good friend, 2026 Productions, are reviewing the latest Hollywood slop.
We're reviewing Red One, and let
Here's
me tell
Bear.
you, Red,
Bear is here with us today. As
to
you
be
can
fair,
see.
Red One makes me feel like a dead one.
Sure. How is I hate Twitch Mobile? That's fair. So cute dog. Yeah, real, truly real. How was the stream? Did you get the art done? So yeah. What else? And then they go to the Krampus area, like Krampus's castle, because I think he kidnapped Santa, but he didn't. And then I kind of forgot. Wait, what the fuck did they do after this?
Basically, like, they're on the way back because Chris Evans basically was able to, like, smooth talk their way out of there, and some Rock'em Sock'em robots as well. And then what happened is that they were on the way back, and the Sea Witch the Christmas Witch might as well be a Sea Witch. Like, she's got all the tentacles and whatnot in the final boss scene. So, like, what happens is that she has this dastardly plan where she's going to, because their basic idea is that we're going to, you know, they're going to test it out with people on the nice list. And the thing is that the Chris Evans character is like the second person on the nice list. Like, he's like the second worst person in the world.
Oh yeah, the first person on the list is like Aaron or something. And this is the guy that this is the murder. This is the murder that happens in this film, where the Christmas Witch like gives him the snow globe, right? And then he just disappears when he gets the snow globe. We don't see him in like another snow globe. I think he just dies.
Yeah, he kind of just poofs out of existence.
Celine BT, true, it looks ass. Yes, this is true. Chief Degenerate, yeah, I know this. Looked at this movie and knew it was bad. I also wonder why J.K. Simmons is getting typecast as Santa. Yeah, that's another thing too, which you missed it for the beginning, but we were talking about how J.K. Simmons doesn't act in this movie, and he's not like a jolly Santa. He just says lines and is asleep and or kidnapped for most of the time. Bear has been alerted because Leo is barking downstairs. Up there he goes. Bye, Bear. Bear has left the building. So yeah, and then the Christmas Witch like gives he kidnaps Chris Evans and Chris Evans' son, and then Chris Evans' son has to explain that the reason why he wasn't at his recital is because he got caught up in this adventure with Santa. And that's when they bond and they learn how to love each other again, and it's so bullshit. It doesn't feel earned at all.
It does feel like that is the weird part about this subplot, is the sense that I feel like this could have worked a lot better if there was just like a little bit more added on to the beginning, so you feel a little bit more gravity of the situation, you know?
It's so
just
weird. This movie is 2 hours long, but like the subplots and like the side character, it's mostly just The Rock and Chris Evans. Like Santa, J.K. Simmons is barely any. He's there at the beginning and he's there at the end, which I guess makes sense. He's kidnapped for most of the film. You know, every now and then you'll cut to, you know, the Chris Evans's arc with his son and his I guess ex-wife or whatever, but that's like barely in the movie too.
It's weird.
And then they're like in the North Pole, right? And then The Rock and Chris Evans and Krampus, who shows up again, have to fight the Christmas Witch for supremacy in this big final CGI mess of a battle that I zoned out of. That's when I truly zoned out of the film.
Took you that long, huh?
Surprisingly, I was surprised. I thought this movie would be a lot more of a slog than it actually was.
That's fair. I don't remember seeing any of the advertisements for it, but I remember seeing the posters and thinking, wow, this looks a little cheesy.
Yes, yes. Also, what is it? Like exclamation point shout out or whatever? What's the command? No one ever raids me, so I don't know, like...
Do we know this
there.
person that raided you?
Yes.
Good. If we didn't...
I think... I don't know how Twitch works. No one ever raids me. Slash. Okay, good. I am stupid and smelly. Shout out. You rated me. You you made art of me once. There we go. Oh, what was I gonna say? Slash is a cool guy. Real, truly real. Yeah, Ryan, do you have anything to say about the finale of this movie?
I really... I felt... like... Hold on, wait a minute. So, it's established that the Sea Witch is... that's what I'm gonna fucking call her. She is not the Christmas Witch.
She
is
has
the
a
Sea
name,
Witch.
but you're not allowed to say the name, but Chris Evans keeps saying the name, even though he's supposed to be like this super smart hacker guy, but is acting like a complete doofus for the whole film.
So, the Sea Witch, who I'm just gonna name... No, that if I call her Elphaba, that's an insult to Wicked. I'm just gonna name her Nike Shoe. Nike Shoe basically has a task force of about 10 going up against the North Pole. You're going to tell me that she was able to get through completely undetected? That seems a little far-fetched, no?
Yeah.
Like, this is the North Pole you're talking about, which probably gets a bajillion dollars in funding. And you're meaning to tell me that a task force of 10 measly Muppets are able to get through?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, the bullshit with the fucking, bubble dome. How did that happen? If there is a dome that can be remote controlled to open and shut, I am baffled that they haven't set up some kind of rigging around it to alert it when somebody has breached it. That seems a little bit...
I think Santa hasn't paid for, satellites or whatever. Also, there was a launch that was going to happen. Is it? Hold up. Continue, Ryan.
There are, the lore, as much as I'm going to praise it...
there is a launch. Or is it scrubbed? Nope, it got scrubbed. Okay, rip. Okay, never mind, continue. Bear is back. Bear is back in my room, and he needs help up on the bed. Continue.
As much as I praise the world building, because I understand we might disagree, but, I will say, the more unique takes with the North Pole, the better.
Hi, Bear.
But, the more unique takes we can get about the North Pole, the better, if you ask me. But, the world building, there were some major flaws. You're really meaning to tell me, the bubble dome that they had invested, probably a large sum of money in, Jurassic Park somehow does... So Jurassic Park, a movie that is surprisingly more grounded in reality than this thing, somehow is able to make more sense because when a dinosaur escaped, there was a breach in the fence, and they knew it. You're meaning to tell me they don't have the same technology for a fucking bajillion-dollar bubble dome?
It's really weird, because you have the fantastical elements, but you also have the all the hyper-advanced technology at the same time, but it's not done in a way, you can have both of those, but you need to do it smartly, and they just don't. Excuse me.
But I will say something that, what I really do enjoy, and what I will give this movie credit for, they weren't... Well, yes, there were definitely some oversights. There were clearly some thought put into the world. Although we might not agree with it, they took a stance on it, and they tried to make something a little unique. And I think that's worth applauding.
It's an original movie. Yeah. Not a good original movie.
But, I'll be quite honest. Something that I've percolated is, think about it. We've got so many interesting takes on how the idea of Christmas now works. Because you've got I'll be quite honest. Like the Santa sleigh concept that they have in Red One, I'll be honest, it's cool, but like I don't know, man. Like I feel like for all of their technology, it feels a little. That concept feels a little half-assed. But when you think about it now, we still have another perspective on how people think like a modern Christmas would work. And honestly, I find that kind of cool. Like
I
I know
do
I'm a
think it
bit.
does kind of fall flat on its face, though. Like, there are aspects of this movie that if, like, it wasn't in a better movie would be far more interesting, if that makes any sense.
I mean,
There are elements of this movie that are interesting, but like the movie in itself is just so dull and corporate and like kind of weird and not in like in that it just doesn't work. It's like, people like eggs, right? You put eggs in a cake and you come out with a good cake. It's delicious. But like if you put eggs in a shitty cake that you can't bake, it's still a shitty cake, no matter how good the eggs are. The logic makes sense. I don't know.
but there is. All right. Let's see here.
Also, here's a question, right?
Yeah.
Here's another question. Does this need to be a Christmas movie? Is there anything inherently Christmas about the plot of this film? I don't think so.
Well, it's funny you mention that because on the drive back, my friend Phoebe made an excellent point. This feels like if this movie does well, which we've yet to see, it feels like it could be a cinematic franchise. Where is Bunny 1?
Bunny 1. Chief Degenerate says, IDK, why in my head I just thought of a shonen anime where Santa is the protagonist. That would be kind of neat. That would be neat. Although, with this movie, it's like a Marvel plot. That's all it is. I don't think there's anything inherently Christmas about this plot. Like, it's the kind of plot that you would see in, like, a shitty Marvel film, or the kind of plot that me and my friends would come up with for our D&D campaign in, like, middle school or high school. Because it's I don't think there's anything inherently Christmas about it. Like, you can swap out Santa with just generic, like, tech CEO and or politician and just set it in, like, a combination fantasy technological world, and there's nothing inherently Christmas about it. Like, when you think of other Christmas movies, right, other Christmas franchise, like, The Grinch works because it's Christmas. Elf is an excellent example of Christmas being integral to the plot. You can't take that sort of plot and, like, have it be in another thing, because, it's about a Christmas elf. It's inherently, the plot that they made is inherently about, like, Christmas elves and Santa and believing in what. That's the inherent sort of thing with this. With this, they took a generic Marvel script and they just slapped Christmas elements onto it. Him delivering presents explained by him just moving really fast. Yeah, that'd be nice.
That was a bit weird. Like, you would think that I will say, Michael, you do make a fair point that the Christmas elements in this film were not very integral to the plot. And yeah, that is a very fair criticism. Again, I will still stand by the fact that they took a stance on world building, and I will give my hat off to them, because I realize that even if the idea is not necessarily the most agreeable, they made an original movie in this day and age, which I understand is kind of crazy to say, but like, they did it.
Hollywood made an original film, even if it's just a rock vehicle movie that may or may not be a tax write-off. I know Spud is not here anymore, but Spud would be they'd be glad to hear that the Interstellar re-release in IMAX made more money than this on opening day. One of the most shocking. Hold up, let's actually go ahead and read
some of the reviews. I'm on it now.
This Collider article about the movie.
Let's see. While not as egregious as its initial trailer, this movie seemingly takes a note from every recent generic action comedy blockbuster, stitches it together with some Christmas tropes, and hope its recognizable cast can carry the experience. 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. We love tax write-off films starring The Rock. I'm telling you, this is a Mel Brooks producer's style. Let's make a movie that's kind of shit so no one can see it with a ridiculous budget. So we'll lose a bunch of money and we can have it as a tax write-off.
It just happened to be a film that is so schizophrenic that it has no pure purpose. That is... If this is Red 1 is, don't expect a Red 2.
One of those shocking announcements that Red 1 would begin streaming on Prime Video mere weeks after release. This fresh off the hills, scoring $7 million in the box office. Was this published 2 days ago? The film officially reached $165 million in the global box office. Okay, that's still less than for its $250 million plot. The budget minus the marketing and distribution made half of its money back. Or slightly more than half. It had a This was only... Is it even out on streaming yet? I think this is only in theaters, right? I mean, I saw it in a theater. If I had the opportunity to see it on streaming, I would have. Which is why I went to a movie theater. Joining Red 1. Okay, yeah. Red 1 profit. I think we wrapped up mostly our conversation on the movie, so...
It's kind of just funny going through the, just all of it. It's such a movie.
I don't think this is getting a sequel unless, like, for whatever reason it does, like, really well on streaming. Why is
I
Leo
doubt it
barking?
will, though. I doubt it will, though.
Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes Red 1. Leo is barking. Fucking J.K. Simmons, man. Moana 2, yeah, we're getting a sequel to a movie from 4 years ago that we're also getting a live-action remake of the original at the same
Moana
time.
2! Let's quickly cover that.
I know nothing about it.
Moana, Michael, do you remember, have you ever read about the direct-to-DVD Disney sequels?
I remember seeing some when I was a kid.
Yeah, this is basically what they did.
Hello, next Spaceflight cameo. Okay.
Moana 2 was 3 episodes of a canceled Disney Plus streaming service.
Really?
Yeah, and they stitched it together to a theatrical release, which is crazy to think about.
30% on the tomato meter, 90% popcorn meter. I don't know what the... In theaters...
Red 1 is altogether too much. Aggravating, over-the-top, computer-generated images, big beefy actors going through the motions imitating standard characters, derivative storylines from better films, and an overload of shiny distractions. Ooh.
Halem Drift. That's The Rock's name. I totally forgot. I do agree with Steven that this movie could be AI generated. Audience reviews.
A Yuletide misfire that lands like a lump of cold. Red
250 million looks like $7. Rubbish.
It's
Nothing
an
else
odd film
to
that doesn't
say.
seem to know what it wants for Christmas. The irony is apparently lost on the filmmakers that this movie is literally a product of Amazon, which only partially explains why it feels like it's kind of soulless, cynical item that one orders close to Christmas without any thought or effort. That is a sick burn.
Considering that it is partially funded by Amazon, it makes sense that Santa is like a bald, fit tech CEO because Jeff Bezos.
Hey, maybe this is Jeff Bezos' power fantasy.
Jeff Bezos has You know what Jeff Bezos has that I like that Santa doesn't have in this movie? A space program.
So Santa should just start...
A Christmas movie. Are you kidding? Horrible. I wonder how many of these are like bots. Can I sort by reviews? Can I sort by like... Hey, Chief Degenerate, thank you for the follow. This aggressively secular and gift-based systems of Red 1 are almost enough to prompt a moist-based holiday wish for previously churchy seasonal entertainment. Go watch, like, Charlie Brown Christmas or The Bible? I don't know. Red 1 is the film that has a courage to ask, what if Santa Claus was like a Marvel movie? Let's see. A joyless, testosterone-fueled tempest that squanders $250 million. Budget on a hailstorm of crudgy CGI and a blizzard of bad vibes.
These are sick burns.
The looseness feels refreshing, a nod to the kind of giddy, sloppy 80 flicks that it wants to be. This film wishes it was a sloppy 80s action movie.
I did my math right. Yeah,
Mismatched. Yeah, everyone is miscast. Everybody is miscast in this movie.
This movie is nothing short of a fucking. This movie is nothing short of an anomaly. I don't think we will ever see something like this ever happen again within the next 10 years.
Let's go to IMDb.
I'm currently on Rotten Tomatoes does an excellent job.
How is the IMDb rating 6.7? Ow.
This is a high-concept, CG-saturated bore that lacks heart and infectious humor, even if it huffs and puffs its way to a little poignancy at the end.
I don't know why these are so funny. Garcia. J.K. Simmons is Nick.
Hold on, we gotta...
Callum Drift. That's not even like a...
Hold on. You post the Garcia image in my server. I will pin it.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's another... That's another thing. Where Garcia doesn't even get a credit. It's not like this actor is Garcia. It's just Garcia. My main question is, Garcia is it's a Hispanic name. And this is a polar bear. Now, of course, my world building is that, I don't know, maybe like the way polar bear marriages work is you take like the maiden name, or maybe Garcia is gay and he took the name of his husband, who's like a normal bear from Mexico, because Garcia's a last name. That's a last name.
Yeah. Hold on, let's just back up for a moment. Let us just back up for a moment. We have gone. How do polar bear marriages work? Maybe he is gay.
No, I'm trying to figure out, like, why is his name Garcia when he's a polar bear at the North Pole, and that's Garcia. Like, that's like a like it's a Hispanic name. So my thought is, like, that's his last name. He must have like married into something, or maybe like his family immigrated to Latin America. And they changed their name to like fit in better, to assimilate. Why is his name Garcia?
This is our turning red 9/11. I like the it just works. Yeah. Garcia.
It just works. This is true. It just works. Who are the director? Jake Kasdan. What else has this guy done? What favorite holiday comedies? Red 1, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Do not compare those movies. Gosh. Jake Kasdan. What else has this guy? Jumanji. Jumanji.
I might have to make a video essay on this, honest to God.
Oh, he directed the last, The Rock, / Chris Evans, Jack Black. He directed this, which I'm pretty sure this was the last movie I saw in theaters before this, like 6 years ago or whatever. Chris Morgan. He is known for writing Fast and the Furious movies. Wait, The Mummy? Like, The Mummy? Oh no, like not like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy.
This movie is such a fucking trip. Film, yeah, hold on. Cast, production,
Hiram
release.
Garcia! He's named after one of the writers of the film! One of the writers is Hiram Garcia. So it's a nod. It's a nod to one of the writers.
By the way,
Oh yeah, these are like directed. Okay, so both of these guys like write movies that The Rock are in. That's basically all they do.
So by the way, this movie was slated for December 2023 originally.
Oh.
This movie is a year late.
That reminds me of
Johnson.
like.
What is it? Johnson pushed for Red One to be released in IMAX after watching an IMAX screening of Oppenheimer while Red One principal photography was still underway. Johnson thought that the Red One in the IMAX format would be game over.
Oh boy,
oh
yeah,
God.
we brought it up in IMAX.
As of December 11th, has grossed critical response. Wrapped in slick packaging. Are you sure about that?
Red One trivia. This was also originally a Prime original. Okay, does the fact that it was pushed back by a year have something to do with the fact that this is $250 million, possibly $500 million budget for this film? I look at those two facts, I'm like, those might be connected.
And its second box office week in the film, what is it?
This
With
is
a
the
massive
second-
budget, it'll take a Christmas miracle for Red One to become a profitable hit at the box office. Fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah, J.K. Simmons also portrayed Santa in Claus, which I haven't seen, but I've heard it's a wonderful, whimsical Santa, like.
The Claus with a K, right?
Yeah, like the animated movie.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Honestly,
the thing is that
the elves at the North Pole are speaking Portuguese. Is Hiram Garcia Portuguese?
This is the film.
Red One quotes. It's one day, right? Like, it's a big job for one day. We have oh yeah, this is one of the attempts at a joke. We work 364 days a year because we deliver presents to several hundred billion individual domiciles across 37 time zones without ever being detected by a single human being. With prep, we rehearse every moment down to the last chimney, so yeah, it's a lot of work. 364 days, we have Boxing Day off.
That's pretty funny, though. I have to admit.
It's like a Monty Python joke.
Yeah, I have to admit, though, I laughed. Like, that...
Elf like, Agent Garcia. A level 4 naughty lister, as Henry put it.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it would have been even funnier if, like, the day that they got off would have been, like, we get Easter off. They get Chinese New Year off. Just, like, a random
Easter would
holiday.
make sense, because it's Christmas.
Right.
What is the German language plot outline for Red One? User reviews. Let's see. Sort by 1 star. Boring. It reminds me of the clip of Roger Ebert saying, "I hated this movie. It was slow and monotonous, kept putting me to sleep. All I got out of it was a sore neck."
Oh, that's never
I
good.
love The Rock in all of his movies, and that's what drove me to a movie like this. Boring. Made it 75% through the movie and then left.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Is its tonal confusion. It doesn't quite commit to being a festive family film, nor work as a gripping action flick. Yeah, exactly. It awkwardly strings between genres. The workers get Sunday off. Yeah, probably. Well, a Christmas action movie sounds fun in theory. This one lacks both the charm and the adrenaline. It's almost like a 5-year-old write a script. Yeah, Chris Evans' performance.
Chris Evans' performance was
terrible.
Interesting. Here's
to
the
be
thing.
fair, the character is written so poorly.
I mean, here's the thing. As an actor, as an actor, as a pretentious theater kid, we make character decisions, and he stuck with his. Whether or not I agree with his character decision, that's up for debate. Point is, he stuck with it. It was a decision. A really weird one.
Yeah, The Rock
Yeah,
also
honestly,
Rock barely acts.
to be fair though, Hollywood, God
just
bless
says
The
a
Rock though. The Rock hasn't received a role that he has stepped outside of his comfort zone in probably a few years.
Yeah, the man is basically Hollywood royalty at this point.
Like,
Anyways,
what film? Like, he is he is quite something. Anyways, I
final thoughts. I guess we can talk about like normal Christmas movies in a little bit too. Any last thoughts, friends, ladies, gentlemen, other? Steven is watching it on streaming. Leo is barking.
Okay. So if he's watching it on stream, they've already dumped it to streaming. My God.
Ask him how quick he is through the movie, because if he's most of the way through the film, then like I can stall and like stream like PF2 or whatever, and then we can get him on and get his.
You want an iPortal?
Not really. Hold up. How far are you through the movie? How far are you through through the movie? So, anyone done anything else interesting?
Well, besides from spending $500 on a K-First QJ, not much.
What did I do? What am I up to? I don't fucking know. I'm going to New York in a few days. 19 hours in an Am fleet. Yippee. The latest train on Amtrak game. Let's play that.
Yeah, alright, go for it, Bean.
What's the latest train on Amtrak? My hunch says it's the Texas Eagle. Texas Eagle or Empire Builder. We get two picks.
I say Southwest Chiefs or one of the silver or the silver meteor.
All right. Okay, let's take a look. I immediately see the Borealis, which is 2 hours and 30 minutes late. Is there anything else?
That might be the latest train on Amtrak.
That is the latest train on Amtrak, I'm pretty sure.
What the fuck happened to it? Hold on.
I don't know.
Texas
Texas Eagle, fine. Empire Builder, Empire Builder is 154. Yeah, it's fine.
The California Zephyrs are running a respective 2 hours and 18 minutes late and 1 hour 12 minutes late.
Floridian running. This is the Amtrak segment of the stream now. So if you don't care, feel free to click off. The
No,
Floridian into Miami arrived. Floridian 2.5 hours late. Oh no, the Floridian is. The Floridian is later than the southbound Floridian to Miami is later than the Borealis. It's just relative to its schedule, right?
Steven is pretty early in the film.
You know what? I don't think I'm gonna stall for Steven.
We love him to bits.
Because the film is 2 hours long.
Yeah, and honestly, Michael,
Why?
The both of us, I think, combined, even though we are stars in our own right, I don't think we've got it in us to stall for that long.
Oh, I never actually brought up the Amtrak tracker. I'm stupid. Here's the Floridian. Technically, the latest train is the Borealis, like, relative to its schedule, but that's only, like, Chicago to the Twin Cities. Well, friends...
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I want to try something real quick. Be charming.
Hell yeah, try out some of the other redeems. The new ones. There's a couple of new ones.
Oh my god. Lovely. Michael, it's lovely.
There's a couple of new ones in there.
Posture track. Shut up, Ringo. We have had an anomaly. Unlock our random sub-emote. Oh, what's this? Funk, scream, become a Kerbal, nano, head. What are head pats? Oh.
What have you not noticed? There's something in there that I think you would like.
Fire truck. Out of my way, Zoe Biden. Oh, Penn Central. What is this? Penn Central statement. Oh, brilliant.
You gotta click it.
I do not have enough bandanas.
Aw, okay, I'll click it for you. Merry Christmas. This might.
This is
has to
Rodney
go up on
Kontorsky.
YouTube.
There we go.
Nobody's better than the Penn Central.
I added some Rodney things in there, cause why not? We also got
Get out of my
Out of
way,
my
asshole!
way.
I'm driving quick! Go, go, go!
Shut up, Ringo.
we got Shut Up Ringo because Beatles brain rot. We got the fire truck. Classic video. And then we got this. Wait, is
Tell me what you think of the Erie Lackawanna.
Fuck them.
is the Coast Starlight later? Hold up. Yeah, he also got Metal Rod. That's new. I mean, the Coast Starlight is late, but it's not, like, stupidly late. Anyways, that's... I think I'm done for today. Actually, there's some corridor. Ryan, final thoughts? Would you recommend this film? What rating do you give it, and would you recommend that people go see this movie?
I recommend people go see it purely for the spectacle alone. Like, if you literally have nothing better to do, like,
Yep.
if you find, like, a late night viewing of this film where you can guarantee you're the only one in the theater and you can just laugh your fucking ass off at the incompetency of it, do it. Like, bring your friends, have a great time. My total rating, if I were to give this film a serious rating, like, in terms of, like, this film is a solid, like, 6 out of 10. But,
Really,
like,
that high?
okay, listen. I put it in the same league as Space Jam 2. It is incompetent at what it does. But I think it knows how...
because of the spectacle? Is that why?
Yeah, and we have to find the Lionel train set that was in it now. Like...
I swear, if I go to the... Well, not that I can go to that... Well, I can't go to that store, but it's 12 hours away. If I still worked at the train store, that set would be there, 100%. So
Michael,
for
what's
me,
your rating?
A 3? Like a 3.5 out of 10. And my reasoning is because if you want to watch like a feel-good, like actually good Christmas special, go watch something different. Go watch Elf, or like The
Home
Grinch,
Alone.
or Home Alone. Like Home Alone, like when you really think about Home Alone, it's like kind of weird too, but it's still like it embraces the Christmas whimsy, right? You know, one minute you're in Home Alone, and another minute you're like on Red Letter Media. Macaulay Culkin's great, by the way, but like if you, as I said, if you have time to kill, if you have nothing better to do, go see this. See it in a theater, preferably at a time where no one else will show up, or the people who show up are in on the joke. Or
Don't wear a suit to this film.
Wear a suit to this film. I would watch this like ironically.
It's The Room.
I wouldn't compare this to The Room. I would watch this from like if you get a kick out of corporate Hollywood slop, I would go see this film, or more likely like imitate the theater experience in your own house instead of paying $10 to go see it. Just get it on Amazon Prime. But
Yeah,
this thing
is like speed run going to like streaming. It's kind of nuts.
As like a Christmas movie, it's barely a Christmas movie, and I would go watch something different. Yeah, Polar Express. Polar Express meanders less than this and is less focused than this movie, but it's more whimsical and does a good job at capturing. It's a Christmas movie. Its plot relies on Christmas.
It's a hell of a lot more Christmassy than this.
Polar Express is it's I would say from like a plot standpoint, it's a less structured movie, a less tight movie, but for being a Christmas movie, Polar Express blows this out of the water by 1,000,000,000 miles.
And plus, the Polar Express has a fucking train in it. Who can argue about that?
This doesn't. Well, this has a train set in it in a box in the background. So
We now, like, listen, at the Big E, I'm going to fucking hunt it down. I'm going to find this train set so I can run the red one train.
pull up Lionel trains.
I have overstepped my spending boundaries by corporate bajillion dollars.
Let's go take a look. What set? I think it's the Winter Wonderland Bluetooth set. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, because it's got, what is it? It's HO scale. It's got
No, it's O
no,
scale.
it wasn't that. No, it was HO scale.
It was HO scale?
Yeah, it was the HO scale, like passenger Berkshire set, and the engine was green. Source, I saw it today.
I saw it in a movie. Hold up, HO. Oh, the Christmas Express. Ryan, this is $350.
Okay, I guarantee. Listen, here's what I'll do. Like in the hit movie,
It's
I will
it's
shrink-
$350 on sale.
Okay, Michael, you don't know me.
I absolutely know you, and you are 100% gonna buy it. I know I can't stop you.
but- No. Listen, babe, honey. You know what? Just like the titular red one itself, I will take Alex, I will shrink him in my pocket, I will pull him out at a strategic moment at the Biggie when I see one of these sets on sale. I will manifest him, and I will tell him to argue it down to $5, and he will do it.
It's a
and we'll be
recolor of the
fine.
Polar Express set. Dad turned 69 today. He's funny now. Ayo, nice. The one fault in your plan is that Alex, I don't think Alex would consent to buying, helping you buy HO scale Lionel anything. But oh well, Ryan, you can do it. You can.
Well, the thing is that I've literally overspent my spending by too much, so now I need to make some money.
And on that
So, yeah.
bombshell,
And on that bombshell, literally,
we'll get one last look at
Wait.
Bear.
Wait, hold on.
Bear. No.
What we will do is you know what we will do, Michael? Next year, at this time, we will revisit Red One.
Well,
Or-
maybe this is a new tradition. We'll watch the latest corporate Hollywood movie, like Christmas film.
I guarantee there will be some.
Red 1, 2.
Red 2!
Red 2.
Red
No, it
2,
needs to
1.
It needs to be Red 1, 2, just because it's stupid.
Red 1, 2. Absolutely.
All right, well...
This is...
Anyone, do you want to say anything else before the stream ends?
It has been an honor and a privilege, a duty I perform.
Thank you all for
Would you
watching. Thank you, Ryan, for being my gracious accomplice on this journey. Thank you, Average. Thank you, Spud. Thank you, Crimson, Carousel for watching and following. Berkshire Maniac. Nautic for the raid. Thank you so much. Celine VT, Chief Degenerate. Who else? Scrolling down in chat. I think that's it. For all coming here and being on this meandering journey. And
On this blessed journey.
Happy holidays, a very Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
I'm not gonna be back next week because I will be in New York on a trip with 29 down the line, which you'll probably, if you follow him, you'll probably see some of that at some point. Probably the week after, don't know when. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.